SEC Tournament co-champs? It feels very odd to say, but that is the case. That's the situation for Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Long rain delays, and the afternoon wasn't going to get a whole lot better. Tried to move the game up, couldn't get the game in, wasn't able to play, can't play the game on Sunday. So an odd end to the SEC tournament. OU and Texas A&M are declared co-champs, but since OU is the higher seed, they will get the automatic qualifier bid from the SEC. So how do we feel about that? How do we feel about co-champs in the SEC tournament? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. What seed do you think OU is going to get on Sunday when the announcement of the NCAA tournament is out? Let me know in the comments as well. Excited as always to hear from you guys. I mean, I don't feel bad on this Saturday. I feel a little bit bummed because I wanted to see this team play for another trophy. I wanted to see this team have a chance to be the outright SEC tournament champs. And selfishly, after Friday's incredible game, I wanted to see how this team would respond. I think that we all did, right? So you don't feel bad about this. You won the SEC regular season crown. You're co-champs of the SEC tournament. I mean, all in all, it was a very successful week for Oklahoma. But yes, selfishly, I wanted to watch some Oklahoma softball today. I'm still a little jacked up about Gabbie Garcia's home run, about what happened. But that's not the case. The next time we see Oklahoma, it's going to be in a regional in Norman, Oklahoma. I keep saying it. The best time of the year is here. And I think Friday was pretty good proof that this is the best time of the year. So I'm bummed, selfishly, that I didn't get to watch OU play a game. I think that it's very good for this team, and they're playing some good softball right now, but I think it's very good for this team to play as many good teams as possible at this point in the year. There's so many learning experiences along the way, especially against a very good team like Texas A&M. I thought that there would have been some good, definitely playing a good A&M team with a championship on the line and see how this team responded, but it doesn't change my opinion one way or the other as to if this team is ready to win a national championship this year. And we'll get into exactly kind of how I'm feeling and excited to see how you guys are feeling now that we're in the postseason here with regionals coming up. I'm also a little bit bummed because I felt good about this game going into today. And clearly how I feel doesn't mean that Oklahoma was definitely going to win the SEC tournament championship. But I would have picked Oklahoma to win this game. And I thought this morning that Oklahoma would win this game because of the momentum carried over from yesterday. And yes, A&M has momentum as well when they dominated their in-state rival. That was actually a lot of fun to watch. But OU had Sam Landry on rest. Full day's rest, didn't pitch until Thursday. To get Sam Landry for a chance to win a tournament, and she didn't pitch the day before, I think was a big advantage to Oklahoma, especially when you consider that A&M's best, Emily Kennedy, pitched 5 innings the 2 previous days. The game time was moved up. I think that favors Oklahoma with Sam Landry and some rest, with Texas A&M playing the later game last night. But we can talk about it all I want. I'm talking about a game. This is almost like a post-game video that didn't happen. I thought Oklahoma would have won the softball game. I guess that we'll never know because OU finishes a half game in front of Texas A&M. They didn't play this year, and they get a chance to settle it on the field in the SEC Tournament Championship, and rain ruined that in Athens, Georgia. So there you go. A post-game show for a game that didn't actually happen. That's certainly a first for me. Not only was an SEC Tournament Championship on the line today, a lot of people will tell you that potentially even the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA Tournament was up for grabs today. And I certainly would have leaned that way. I think now the 2 teams that didn't get to play in Saturday's game, I think that those are going to be your 1 and 2 in the NCAA regional draw tomorrow, the NCAA tournament selection show tomorrow. If I had to guess, I would guess that Oklahoma is probably going to be the 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. And I think Texas A&M is probably going to be the 1 seed. And you know what? I don't have a huge beef with that. I don't have a huge issue with that. Clearly, Oklahoma was the number 2 seed last year, and they still found a way were able to win the national championship. So is there a difference in the number 1 overall seed and the number 2 overall seed? I mean, I think that there's a slight difference. I don't think it's by much, honestly. I think the number 2 overall seed for this team is an amazing accomplishment. I think that you should celebrate that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe OU being the SEC champs carries a lot of weight. What they did this week in the NCAA tournament carries a lot of weight as well, and they end up being the number 1 overall seed. But whatever you get, like, here's the thing. There are a lot of teams entering Sunday that don't know their fate. If they're going to be a regional host, if they're going to be a super regional host. OU is, I think as an OU fan, you got to be very calm and very confident heading into tomorrow, because you're going to host a regional, you're going to host a super regional, and I think it's all but locked up that you're going to be a top 3 seed. And if I had to guess, you're going to be the number 2 overall seed, which is a really good place to be. So there's some other teams out there that are saying, our hands or our chances to make it to Oklahoma City in large part are kind of determined by what happens tomorrow and what kind of draw we get. Oklahoma, I think, is going to get the draw that you want in that number 2 or number 1 overall seed. So you can watch the selection show tomorrow night. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty confident. Not a lot of nerves. I think OU is going to be in a very, very good spot once the seedings are announced. Now, the pairings, I guess we'll see on that, right? Who comes to Norman in the regional? And ultimately, probably the most interesting thing for me that I'm going to be watching is who is OU paired in a super regional in Norman. Not to count the regional as a given. Nothing is a given. Nothing is a given this time of year. But who the potential matchup with is in the super regional. I think it's going to be interesting. And I don't know if any of you have felt this way, but for whatever reason, the entire year I felt like, well, one, OU is going to be in a good position to host a regional, host a super regional. But there's something about Nebraska and Texas Tech that have always entered my mind when thinking way too far ahead during the season about the postseason. I just feel like the committee, and I guess that this is the softball conspiracy theorist in me. Why do I think that OU is going to be paired up with Nebraska in a regional or a super regional? Well, obviously, there's the storyline there with Jordy Ball. The ratings for that would be insane. So I've always had this theory or just thought, or maybe call it softball conspiracy theory. I don't know. I just thought that Oklahoma faces off against Nebraska or Texas Tech at some point before getting to Oklahoma City. We'll see if that actually happens or not. I think Oklahoma's better than both Nebraska and Texas Tech. Clearly, Jordy Ball is really, really good. She's having a fantastic year. Nyjah Kennedy is having a fantastic year. They won the Big 12 regular season. They won the Big 12 tournament as well. Maybe that's not what happens tomorrow, but I'll certainly be interested to see if at some point OU faces Nebraska or Texas Tech to make it to Oklahoma City. All right, about last night. I'm still jacked up about it. Gabbie Garcia. I was just hoping for a base hit. Heck, I was just hoping for a sacrifice fly to the outfield that was going to tie the game. And maybe I should have thought it or should have expected it. This is Oklahoma softball we're talking about. But she just hit a monster home run instead. Man, that moment was just absolutely incredible. And one thing that I really loved, looking back through the comments from yesterday's video, is there's been a few of you saying that you could hear other fans in your neighborhood going crazy. Other softball fans that you know in your neighborhood, a house down, a couple of houses down, going crazy once Gabbie Garcia hit that home run. I love that. So thank you to those of you who shared those moments. Those moments are priceless, that's one of the great things about this program, this team, Oklahoma softball, is moments like that. Whoever you share them with, or maybe you were even by yourself for it, you never forget those moments, and that's really cool. We'll never forget that moment from Gabbie Garcia, and I think for years to come, when it's SEC tournament time, they're going to be replaying that home run, that walk-off home run by Gabbie Garcia to cap off the largest comeback in SEC tournament history and a game where OU hit the most home runs in an SEC tournament game. I've had a bit to think about it, about 24 hours or so to think about it. That's been my favorite game, I think, so far this year. There's others in contention for sure. All 3 Texas wins were awesome. But that win yesterday over Arkansas felt really, really good. It's probably my favorite win of the year. But hopefully we have better wins still to come moving forward. I did get one I don't know how critical you'd say it was, saying, come on, dude. You got to give more props to Paytn Monticelli, and you've got to give more props to Isabella Emerling as well. So I read that, I saw that, and I'm going to take this opportunity to give those two players the recognition that they probably deserved yesterday. Now, to be fair, I did mention Paytn Monticelli and what she did in relief, coming in right before Audrey Lowry came in relief. I did mention Isabella Emerling's home run. They had the back-to-back home runs to cut it to 6-4, but I'll spend a little bit more time on it. Isabella Emerling, that was huge for her, and she's caught in a lot of criticism, maybe more than any single player on this team this year, but that was an awesome moment for her. And one thing you have to appreciate about Isabella Emerling is she doesn't, she gets her money's worth when she swings the bats. I mean, when she takes a hack, she takes a hack. And when she squares up a softball, the end result is what it looked like yesterday to push the score to 6-4. So when OU was down 6-1, you know, I wouldn't fault anybody for saying this team isn't giving me a whole lot of hope right now to win this game. But Isabella Emerling's home run was the moment where you thought, okay, like all of a sudden we're only down 2. We got a lot of softball left to play. We're in this thing. And there were bigger plays as the game wore on, but Isabella Emerling, for all the criticism that she's gotten and maybe all the, you know, the tough plays that she's had this year, in the biggest comeback in an SEC tournament game in history, in a game that pretty much locked up a top 2, top 3 spot in the NCAA tournament, she had a massive hit and a massive home run yesterday. So give Isabella Emerling a lot of credit for that she stepped up to the plate and came up with a very, and I mean very, very big hit yesterday. And the hit that made you say for the first time in that game, we got to go chance to win this thing. Paytn Monticelli, I know that she had a few walks, but what's the most important stat for a pitcher? In my opinion, did you give up any earned runs? And Paytn Monticelli did not give up any earned runs yesterday. So if that's what we get here in the postseason, if she has a few walks, so be it. If she gives up a couple of hits, so be it. As long as that number is 0, next to earned runs for Paytn Monticelli, I'll take it. And Kirsten Dill didn't have her best start. Isabella Smith didn't have her best appearance. So give credit to Paytn Monticelli for the 2 pitchers before her struggled a bit, and Paytn Monticelli calmed the waters. She really calmed the waters and, you know, set up a situation for Audrey Lowry to come in and have an incredible performance down the stretch. So props to Emerling, props to Paytn Monticelli as well, and of course props to the freshman that I talked about yesterday. I mean, Sid Barker, are you kidding me? 2 home runs. I want to see her in the lineup every single game moving forward. She is a ball player, man. And as much as we've talked about Gabbie Garcia, Sydney Barker is in that line for me to be in that group of the next special players to come through this program. I'm excited about Gabbie Garcia. I think she has a chance to be your next great shortstop. I am interested to see where Sid Barker is going to play long term. You know, luckily, she's shown that she can play first base. She's shown that she can play the outfield. She's shown that she's very much a utility player, and you can use her in a bunch of different spots. But the way I feel about Gabbie Garcia, a lot of ways I feel the same way about Sid Barker. Her bat is incredible, and she's got a chance to do a lot of special things. And, of course, Audrey Lowry, same thing as well. She was absolutely awesome, and, man, she was great. You had to have a big pitching performance to have a chance to get that comeback, and she gave it to you. But I'll get a little bit more in-depth on Audrey Lowry here in a few minutes. How are we feeling? Postseason's here. Postseason's been here with the SEC tournament, but now it's regionals, right? Now it's really feels important. How we feeling? I don't know about you guys, but I feel great. And I certainly feel better today than I did at this point last week after back-to-back losses to Florida. And that's what you got to appreciate about this team, is that every time this team has gotten knocked down, they've always responded. They got knocked down against Tennessee. They got knocked down against Alabama. And every single time they came back with a winning streak. There's my dog Addie behind me, just, rolling and wanting to be a part of a video. But every single time OU's gotten knocked down, they've gotten back up. And they did that again this week. They had a very great pitching performance by Sam Landry against LSU. All the credit in the world for that. And then they came back yesterday with, again, and this, I don't get tired of saying this, the largest comeback in SEC tournament history. Like, they rebounded off of that. Their response in the Florida game was super impressive. From the Florida series loss was super impressive. And yes, I would have loved to play Texas A&M. And yes, I think they would have beaten Texas A&M. But still, I think the overall week in Athens, Georgia, to me, makes you feel really good moving forward. The offense responded when it needed to. It hit a whole lot of home runs yesterday as well. I think that this team right now, it's all about peaking and playing your best at the right time. And I feel like that's the case with this team. I do. Certainly the offense, we didn't see the base running mistakes in those two games as to what we saw before that. I like where this team is at, and I'll roll with this team any day. I've been saying that all year long, but I really like the spot that they're in right now. I don't think that they're necessarily the overwhelming favorite going into regionals like they've been in years past, but as OU in that group of national championship contenders, you betcha, man. Absolutely, they are in that group, and when the odds come out, they may even be the odds-on favorite to win the national championship. I just believe that there's season-defining moments for every single team. For a team that doesn't even make the NCAA tournament, for a team that loses in a regional, for a team that makes it to Oklahoma City, for the team that wins the national championship. I think with every single team, there's season-defining moments, season-defining games. I think last year you could argue that it was the Oklahoma State's Game 3 win, final regular season game, when they had already lost the series, but that team put together a really good game, and it felt like it really sparked them moving forward on the pursuit to a national championship. This year's team, might we be talking about that Arkansas win on Friday? Might we say, well, they were really good, and they were playing some good ball, but it was that Arkansas game that, man, momentum-wise, it just changed. They found some things in that game, and all of a sudden, it really propelled them to their best softball of the year in a national championship. Maybe that's the season-defining moment. Maybe the season-defining moment hasn't happened yet, and it's going to happen at some point in the postseason. Regardless, I really like where this team is at, and I can't wait till we get to regionals because I really think that this team, man, they're very talented. I think that they're gritty, they're tough. This team wants it, man. You've heard Patty say it. This team wants to win a national championship. And I can't guarantee it, of course, but I don't hate their odds. I like their odds to be right there in the mix when it matters most coming up here in a few weeks. Audrey Lowry. You know, I don't even know what impresses me the most about her outing yesterday. Is it the fact that she didn't walk anybody? Is it the fact that she had the multiple strikeouts? Is it the fact that she didn't give up an earned run? I think maybe it's just the calm, cool composure that she had in the circle. I think maybe it's just the fact that she completely took away all the momentum that Arkansas had in that game offensively. Arkansas was hammering the softball from the first inning. Like, dang, man, this team is on it today. They're squaring up the ball. They're hitting it hard. It felt like Arkansas's drawing a walk or hitting the ball hard somewhere the entire game. And again, give credit to Paytn Monticelli for slowing that down a little bit. But Audrey Lowry just looked like a fourth-year senior in total command, just out there saying, I'm absolutely going to dice you up, and you have absolutely no chance. Like Bree Ellis today, an unbelievable hitter, didn't really do anything against OU. Like, you really shut her down. I don't know how many teams have shut down Bree Ellis this year. I mean, just absolutely incredible what she was able to do yesterday. Is she your number 2 pitcher moving forward? To me, the answer is yes. Because her last 3 outings, or at least last 2 outings, I think it would be the last 3, have all been pretty good. Now, those have been in a kind of a relief setting, and maybe not as a starter. So might we see Audrey Lowry get a start in regionals? I kind of hope so. You know, outside of Sam Landry, I mean, she's going to have the highest ceiling of anybody else that you have on this pitching staff. And maybe just overall, she has the highest pure ceiling on this roster. I want to see this freshman get in the mix, get in the action, get a start, get innings here in the postseason. Because if you're telling me right now that you've got to play a game in regionals, a big game in regionals or super regionals, and Sam Landry can't pitch, I would want Audrey Lowry right now. I would. I feel like she's got the hot hand. I thought maybe a few weeks back that could be Kirsten Deal. I thought at points this season that could be Isabella Smith, and maybe those two pitchers rise to the occasion as well. But right now, I really like Audrey Lowry in what she's giving, and I think that she's going to give you. I think she's going to give you some innings and some high quality innings here heading into the postseason. All right, I'm going to wrap it up with this. To all the moms out there, thank you for what you do. I hope not only Sunday, but I hope the entire weekends, the people that you love make you feel special, and I want to make you feel special as well. To each and every one of you. Call yourself a mom or play the role of a mom. Just know that you're appreciated. Know that you're loved. The moms who always come to this channel right here to get their OU softball fix, thank you. It means a lot to me, that's for sure. And just want to give a shout out to all the moms out there. I hope you get spoiled tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic day, because what you do, probably it's not said enough how much us guys out there love and appreciate you. Just wanted to say thank you to all the moms out there. Nicole May interview going to drop on Monday. It's a fun one. But you guys have a great weekend. Have a special Mother's Day. And we'll talk to you soon, with pairings soon announced for the NCAA Tournament. Best time of the year, I tell you that. Been telling you that a lot here recently. It's true. Have a video out soon with kind of thoughts about the pairings, everything else, and of course that Nicole May video coming out on Monday. Appreciate you guys as always. Enjoy the weekend.